What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are back in Destiny 2, and in this video I wanted to do a complete guide to the Root of Nightmares raid. In this video, I will go over the mechanics and boss fights found in this raid, and I will also show you where to find the 2 secret chests. I plan on making a video just like this one for every dungeon and raid in Destiny 2, including the new raid coming in Season of the Deep. So if this video helps you, please consider subscribing to this channel, as I'm sure my future videos will help you as well. I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible, so let's get right into it. So first off, the Root of Nightmares raid can be found on the Neptune destination, but you will only be able to access this raid if you own the LIGHTFALL DLC. The recommended level for this raid will be 1770, so I would also suggest reaching this level before you attempt this raid. The first encounter of the Root of Nightmares raid will be Cataclysm. For this encounter, you will want to divide your group into 2 teams. One player will be the runner and the 5 other players will be the clearers. The runner will need to link the orbs in this arena together as fast as they can. To do this, the runner will need to shoot the orb at the start of the room to get the Field of Light buff, then look at the orb to see where the orb will point to. Then the runner will need to run to that orb that the first orb pointed to and shoot it. Once this has been done, the runner will then need to return to the first orb that will have the white glowing aura around it, and shoot it to get the Field of Light buff again. Then they can take that buff to the third orb that the second orb pointed to and shoot it. And then simply repeat this process until all of the orbs are linked in every section. Once the first group of orbs has been connected, you will need to push forward in the room to link the second group. There will be 4 groups of orbs in this arena in total. And that's pretty much everything that the runner will need to do. It will basically just be a big game of connect the dots. But the runner will need to do this as fast as they can, as there will be a timer on the bottom left of your screen called Sweeping Terror. If this timer runs out, your team will wipe and you will have to restart the encounter. To extend this timer, the runner will either need to link all of the orbs in the group that they are working on, or the clearer team will need to kill a tormentor, which will lead us to the responsibilities of the clearer team. While the runner is running around connecting the orbs, the clearing team will need to focus on killing ads that might get in the way of the runner, but most importantly, the job of the clearers will be to extend the Sweeping Terror timer to give the runner more time. To do this, the clearer team will need to look for 2 scions and kill them. The scions will spawn into this encounter in bubbles, and the only way to kill them is if you melee them. Once those 2 scions are dead, a tormentor will spawn into the arena. The tormentor will either spawn on the left or right side of the room, and when you see the tormentor, you will want to call out to the rest of your team to let them know if it's on the left or right, and then all 5 players on the clearer team will need to focus on killing it as fast as they can. Killing the tormentor will add 30 seconds to the Sweeping Terror timer. Now there should be some communication between the runner and the clearers, because you can kind of cheat the timer by spawning in the tormentor right before the runner links the final orb. Then you can let the tormentor run around until the next timer starts, and then kill it once you see the Sweeping Terror timer appear to get an extra 30 seconds right away. Then just repeat the process of killing the 2 scions and the tormentor while the runner links the orbs until this encounter has been completed. But to help you out a little bit more, I do have this map of this encounter to show you where the scions and tormentors will spawn, and also show you where the orbs can be found. Then you can proceed further into this raid until you come across this wall that will have holes in it. If you jump into one of these holes, you will find a tormentor guarding the first secret chest. The next encounter will be Scission. This encounter will use the linking mechanic used in the first encounter. To complete this encounter, you will need to link all of the orbs on all 3 floors, which sounds a lot harder than it actually is. To make this encounter as simple as possible, split your team into 2 teams of 3. These teams will be the dark team and the light team. The light team will want to go to the right, and the dark team will want to go to the left. Of those 3 players, make one of them a runner. So in total, you will have 2 runners and 4 ad clearers. The runners will need to shoot the first orb on their side to get the Field of Light or Flux of Darkness buff. Then look at the orb to see where it points and run to that orb and shoot it, then return to their side to get the buff again and go to the third orb in their order. The only big difference in this encounter compared to the first encounter will be the large gap that the runners will need to fly across. To get across this gap, you will need to use the jump cannons to be shot to the other side. Now for this encounter, the runners should be the only people shooting the orbs and using these jump cannons. Ad clearers will need to stay on their sides and kill the enemies that spawn. Some of the enemies that will spawn will have orange or white shields, and if you shoot them, it will say they are immune to damage. But to kill them, the ad clearers will need to stand beside the orb that will have the orange or white aura around it to get the Field of Light or Flux of Darkness buff when the runner shoots it. With this buff, you will be able to kill those immune enemies on your side. Once all of the orbs have been linked on both sides, a jump cannon will open up at the end of the hall, allowing you to jump up to the second floor. And here you will just need to repeat all of the things you are already doing. To complete this encounter, you will need to link all of the orbs on all 3 floors. To make this encounter easier for you, you can use this map, which will show you where all of the orbs are, and it will show you the order of them. Once you have completed this encounter, the wall will open up near the chest on the 3rd floor, which will lead you to another room where you will have to link more orbs to open the door to get to the next encounter. The next part of this raid will be the nuke jump puzzle. To get past this encounter, you will just need to run to the end of the jumping puzzle. While you are running, an explosion will start to grow, and if this explosion touches you, you will die. To prevent dying to this explosion, you will need to shoot a white orb, then run to the next dark orb and shoot it to get the Darkness Refuge buff. This buff will protect you from the explosion. So you will just need to run from white orb to dark orb until you reach the end of the jump puzzle. But about halfway through this jump puzzle, you will come across this wide open area, and if you go up to the right and look down, you will see this darkness crux. Shooting this will open the door to the second secret chest. The third encounter of the Root of Nightmares raid will be planets. This is usually the encounter that most teams have an issue with. For this encounter, you're going to want to split your team into 2 teams. 2 players will be on the Ad Clearer team, and 4 players will be on the Runner team. There should be 1 Ad Clearer on the left and 1 Ad Clearer on the right of the room. The 4 other players will need to take one of the 4 planet plates that will be in all 4 corners of the room. Now this is where things are going to get a little confusing. The goal of this encounter is to move the dark planets to the dark side of the room and move the light planets to the light side of the room. The left side of the room will be the light side and the right side of the room will be the dark side. To do this, the Ad Clearers will need to kill the Centurions that will spawn at the back of the room. Once they are dead, a mini-boss will spawn on all of the planet plates. The runners will need to kill this mini-boss to get the Planetary Insight buff, then look up to see the color of their planets. The runners will then need to pick up the planet that is the odd one out and bring it to the plate directly across from their plate. And the person on the plate opposite to their plate will need to pick up their planet and bring it to yours. But you will need to put the planets into the spot that the other player took their planet out of, which will sound confusing, so for this we will need to use callouts. Everyone will use different callouts, so use whatever works best for you, but when we do this raid we use the callouts 1, 2, and 3, which will look like this on the map. So for example, if I'm on the left side and my dark planet is in the 3 spot, I will call out to the person across from me and just tell them 3. And then maybe they could tell me that their planet is 1. Then we will run to each other's plates and I will put my planet into their number 1 slot and they will put their planet into my number 3 slot. Once this exchange has happened, you will want to stay on the new plate that you have reached. Once all 4 runners have successfully exchanged their planets, you will see the sentence "The indexed planets reveal themselves" appear in the bottom left of your screen. Once you see this, you will need to kill the Centurions that are going to spawn at the back of the room again to make those mini-bosses spawn on your plate. Then kill those to get the Planetary Insight buff again, and with this buff, look at the 3 planets in the center of the room. They will be either orange or white. From here, the runners will need to put the correct planets into the 3 white plates in the center of the room. So for example, if the left and right planets are white and the middle planet is orange, you will need to put a light planet in the left and right plates and a dark planet in the middle plate. Once you have done this, it will start the damage phase. Now there isn't going to be too much to the damage phase, you will just need to see what color the boss is glowing, then step on one of the 3 plates in the middle of the room depending on what color they glow. So if the boss is glowing orange, you need to touch an orange plate to do damage to the boss. The boss will change colors 3 times during a damage phase, so you will have to touch all 3 planets at least once, but you can't touch them too early. The best strategies that we have found for this boss is to use either 6 rocket launchers or 6 Thunderlords. Then you can just repeat everything you have done until this boss is dead. The final boss of the Root of Nightmares raid will be NEZAREC. This encounter is going to use all of the mechanics from the previous encounters, so you should already know kind of what to do. To start off, you're going to want to pick 2 runners. Again, these runners will just need to link orbs. On top of this, you will need to pick 3 ad clearers who will need to focus on killing ads, and the final player will be the gaze player. So the runners will just need to link orbs, and 2 of the ad clearers will need to stand beside their runners at the beginning of the encounter to get either the Field of Light or Flux of Darkness buff when the runner shoots the first orb. Once those ad clearers have those buffs, they will need to run to the first orb of the opposite side and shoot it to set up a refuge. So for example, if you are the ad clearer standing on the dark side with the dark runner, you will need to get the dark buff when the dark runner shoots the first orb, then you will take the dark buff to the first light orb and shoot it to set up a darkness refuge. And the same thing goes for the ad clear that will be on the light side, but they will shoot the first dark orb instead of the first light orb. Now for the gaze player, they will need to stand somewhere where they can see the boss at the back of the room. If you are the gaze player, you're probably going to want to use a sniper rifle because you will need to shoot the weak spots on the boss's shoulders. Once both of the boss's shoulders have exploded, the boss will glow either white or orange. When the gaze player sees the color explosion, they will need to call out to the rest of their team to tell them what color they saw. After this, the gaze player will need to shoot the boss in the chest to get the boss's attention, then run around the room and lead the boss away from the runners. Every now and then the gaze player will need to turn around and shoot the boss in the chest again just to get his attention. When the gaze player sees the boss glowing, they will need to tell their team to get to refuge, which will be the orbs that the ad clearer shot at the beginning of the encounter. If the boss glowed orange when the gaze player shot its shoulders, all players will need to go to the light refuge plate. And if the boss glowed white, all players would need to go to the darkness refuge plate. Once all of the orbs have been linked on both sides, the damage phase will start. For the damage phase, everyone should stand together on one of the elevated plates around the arena. So before you start this boss fight, talk within your group and figure out which plate you're going to meet at. And again, for this boss fight you can use anything that you'd like, but we found it best to use either 6 rocket launchers or 6 Thunderlords. And then just repeat this process until the boss is dead. And that's going to be pretty much it. But before this video ends, I just wanted to let you know that I plan on creating a ton of videos for Destiny 2 on this channel. So if this video has helped you, please consider subscribing to this channel, as I'm sure my future videos will help you as well. And if you are also looking for a new clan in Destiny 2, you can check out the link in the pinned comment below to join the Destiny 2 clan that I have created. You can also find me streaming Destiny 2 over on Twitch. You can find my Twitch link in the pinned comment as well. But anyways, I hope this video has helped you and thank you for watching.